Good luck, Mrs. Wyckoff. Sounded like it was going to be a really powerful, probably quite emotional film. And having now watched it, I can confirm that it's very, very boring. And there are some powerful moments, but because it's so slow and not a lot happens for the bulk of the film, it just kind of loses momentum. This was released in 1979. This is directed by Marvin J. Chomsky, written by Polly Platt, based on the novel by William Inge, and we have a cast including Anne Heywood, John Lafayette, Donald Pleasence, and Doris Roberts. It's because of Doris Roberts that I became aware of this, and I thought it sounded like an interesting drama. And it really, really isn't. It's about a teacher called Evelyn Wyckoff, and she finds out that she's actually going through premature menopause. And then nothing happens for a lot of the film, and it's basically about her lack of sex life and lack of relationships. And then something happens that's quite dramatic that I guess is kind of loosely connected to that, and it's a very traumatic experience for her. I will say it takes about half of the film for this to happen, so it's kind of a spoiler, but IMDb does tell you what it is. So if you don't want to know what it is, don't check out IMDb. But it is kind of a key plot point, but it does take about half of the film for it to happen. The pacing is absolutely terrible. But then this dramatic thing happens and it's very traumatizing. And yeah, I thought that was well executed. It was quite powerful. And then the aftermath was, well, it was more interesting than the first half of the film, but it still wasn't that powerful. There's still a lot of fluff. And I also found Evelyn to be really irritating. I just did not like her as a protagonist at all. It's not that I didn't care for her, and certainly I didn't want anything bad to happen to her, but I just found her a little bit annoying, a little bit irritating. And then there's so much fluff in the narrative that it just is very, very boring. Yes, the second half does get more dramatic, it does get better, it does get a little bit more emotional, but I still feel like there's a lot of fluff and the narrative just needed a lot of work. It could have been a powerful film. I feel like maybe, now bearing in mind it's based on the novel, but I feel like they were trying to make too many things happen and to make it about too many things. And that being said, there's not that much going on, but it still felt like, with obviously her medical situation and then her own situation with her lack of love life and then this thing that happened, I think they could have stripped it back a bit, focused a bit more on what is going to be the most important part of the film and make it a much more compelling, better written narrative. And also I think Evelyn needs to be better written as a character as well. So it's just not a good film. The technical aspects are fine, the performances are fine, but the story is very poorly handled, the pacing is horrendous, and I don't think Evelyn's a very well written character. So I didn't care for it. It could have been really powerful, really important, but unfortunately I just didn't think it was very good at all.